Alright, so we're into game 2 of this series, with Tempires taking game number 1 in a Babylon versus Babylon match on equal footing. So now we got something a bit different. We've got Cheetahburg Forest here, Tempires in the red trunks on Egypt, Carnage in the green trunks on Babylonian. Carnage going for an early barracks. Tempires, well, he's gonna go for 2 storehouse first, so I don't know if this is a good idea. Carnage actually has got the resources for hunting dogs here as well. But he's not going to go for it, he's just going to get the barracks. A bit slow on that spear production. Going to start distance gathering wood. I don't know why he's going to go that far when he could just be gathering it from here. So Carnage with an interesting opening here. Tempires now starting his back, so it'll be a bit delayed, but Carnage is only just going to start pushing out now. By the time he hits, the barrack should be finished, especially because Tempires committing 4 villages to it. It's going to put him back in terms of his gathering here, but at the same time, he's going to send those villagers straight up to start gathering on the hunt, and he's going to be able to start his own barracks production here. He'll be behind by about 3 spearmen at the moment. The 2 of them causing havoc for Tempires, but with some good micro. And he's patient, he's keeping that initial spearman back, he doesn't want to overextend. With that, he'll just play it safe for now. Let his scout do the work. He's going to go back on to the berries. I don't know if he might have been just best off bringing the whole clump of villagers and trying to fight with the spears and the scout. He's already committed the priestess as well, so his vill production is a little bit slowed. Tempires is making Carnage commit to more and more spears here. So even though Tempires is having his slower vill production as a result of this, he is also having Carnage produce a lot of spears, though he is ramping up his own spear production at the moment. So Carnage 17 vills, Tempires only on 11, so he is struggling with that vill production at the moment from all the pressure. So even though I doubted Carnage's initial opening, his initial build order, he's definitely done well with the spears since, and Tempires has been caught out with a very slow barracks defense there. Not necessarily his fault, because he's just gone with double storehouse first, but on a map like this, you just can't risk going for double storehouse first if your opponent is, even the slightest chance of spear rushing. It's only if you know that they're too greedy for their own good that you actually play too greedy for your own good as well. So Tempires now turning around Carnage, but Carnage 20 vills, Tempires 12. 20 to 26 is the population count. Tempires no eco-techs, Carnage no eco-techs at all either. But Carnage has now pretty much got the stone for a town center. So he's going to start that age up process with the ziggurat. Tempires some way away from getting Temple of Ra here. Picker's Gloves coming for Carnage. There's a lot of food over at the sides of the map here, but Carnage decides it's just safer to stay here and gather. He's even going for the further berries at the moment, and he can probably actually fall back to this and have his second town center here. We'll go for some cheesy proxy town center possibly. This is a map that does reward unusual but creative and aggressive styles of play, I think. Such a pretty map. So Tempires still in age 1, Carnage in age 2, and now actually starting to float a bit of wood, so there we go. He is going to go for the second town centre. Actually try and control a bit more of the map. Tempires is just going to try and scout out, figure out what Carnage is intending to do here. Carnage having to replace the town centre. Things weren't quite right there. Tempires going for the Temple of Ra now. 17 vills to 26. It's been a big early game blow for Tempires here. Carnage already got Stables Barracks. Tempire is going to start his stone gathering now, so he'll be quite a way away from actually getting a second town centre or getting any more military production. So Carnage really going to start pulling ahead in terms of army composition, wasting no time with the placement of that, not even going back here where it would be safer. Carnage being willing to play greedy now, knowing that he's dealt that early game damage to Tempires. He did so well in the first game. Blindsided Carnage with very equally skilled use of lances in the bad versus bad game. Now, the spear rush from Carnage just proving to be too strong for Tempires. He's now going to go for his second town centre. Just needs a little bit more stone. He's going to get this over here to try and protect second hunt and second gold mine. The closer he gets to this entrance, the more he actually protects everything here. And there's possibly even resources all back here. We just can't quite see them because neither player's actually scouted them. There you go, there's one deer back here. Some berries and gold. So Carnage maybe best off chopping this way. Tempires maybe best off chopping a bit more heavily through here. Over here could have been a better spot because there's less trees. It's a bit of a strange, unique map. Carnage trying to go for the Lancer harass, maybe able to get a villager or two here. So picking a vill off. Tempires a little bit shaken, not doing double vill production at the moment here. It's not ideal because Carnage will be definitely able to pull further and further ahead on economy. 41 to 23, the villager difference now. It's about 4 or 5. Sorry, about 5 or 6 during the early game. And now it's just sort of exploded out with Carnage getting the earlier second town centre and Tempires having a bit of trouble actually continually queuing stuff there. But his eco's in a good shape now. Going to really start burning through that food pretty quickly, I think. Maybe just needs a little bit more wood gathering because he's starting to produce slingers as well as some spears. Carnage in the meanwhile, he's got spear lancer here. So a handful of spears. I mean, only 3 lancers or so. And then starting up spear production to just bait out and then deny camel production from the Egyptian player. Tempires not having any of it. He's just going to commit to triple barracks, which is perhaps the way to go here. Because he can get his own spears, a small number of axes, and get some slingers. Maybe just look at trying to go to age 3 from here. The Tempire is clawing his way back in, score-wise, I think. And it's not really able to get too much done with that Lancer. Tempires going to keep up the production here. In fact, he's going to have to get more food eco here, considering he's not been making too many slingers. We've been making more in the way of infantry. We get Spearman Champ here as well. Should help make them a little bit cheaper on gold. Armory for Tempires incoming as well. And Carnage now. 2 barracks and the stables, and he's also adding his own armory. So things looking good for Carnage. He's already up on overall pop, most of it through eco. It's still a slightly larger army as well, and he's not going to worry too much about committing to any form of ranged. No bowmen yet, no archery rangers. Getting temper instead first. Tempires at the moment struggling with food a little, and he's not really able to break out of here. Carnage trying to get watch posts, get some intel, deny Tempires the ability to gather at these sides. Well, Tempires sort of force into early game fights that he doesn't want to take in order to get map control, because now he's got to invest in farms. It's going to set him back in terms of his eco, because he's going to commit to all that wood expenditure. Well, Carnage can just continue to creep around the map. He's also going to start adding a handful of farms of his own. He does also have the gardens, so getting them for the train and research time benefit. They also give you a great amount of food income as a trickle over time. So Carnage close to 140 pop. Tempires only about 75, and he's housed at the moment. And he's moved out. It's sort of been found out here. He doesn't have Tempire yet. Temper yet for Tempires. You know how hard it is to remember to switch between the two. So Shield Rim gonna kick in soon for Carnage. There's not a lot in the way of ranged damage here from Tempires, so like he's really only committed to 3 or 4 slingers. He hasn't bothered to really mass them. He's wanted to just try and deal with what Carnage has, but right now it just heavily outnumbers him, and he's been struggling with the macro in this defense. Some resources in the bank, but he's not spending through. He's got more barracks than this. He's not spending through that one either. So Carnage, I think he's going to tie up the game here, tie up the series here. The Lancers, so numerous. A lot of spears here as well. Tempires still finding ways to get a lot of food here. Oh, he's still got the berries there. He's been playing this expensively, has helped, but Carnage too far ahead from that early game push, I think. GG. Tempires taps out. Carnage takes game number 2, and we have a tied series now, guys. So we're going to the decider. We're going to do it on competitive random. I know that's not on there properly. I'm just fixing it. So we have a tied series. Game number 3 coming right up, guys.